When a Hollywood feature film becomes a massive cultural shifting hit that grips the entire world, it's almost inevitable that a hardcore porn film parody will follow soon after. Greek Lightning, directed by Scott Masters under the name Warren Stevens, may just be one of the first gay erotic film parodies in history. In this episode, we're going to celebrate Warren Stevens, otherwise known as Scott Masters' film, Greek Lightning, a gay porn film that was meant to be a hardcore takeoff of The French Connection, starring the immensely popular Jimmy Hughes. What we end up receiving is an ambitious guerrilla gay porn film of epic proportions. This is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. Before we continue, I want to remind you that you can help this channel and its original yet risque content by liking, clicking the subscribe button, or selecting the bell icon for notifications to see more content like this. And for all you podcast listeners, leave a review or rate it if you can. Thank you. After years of working in softcore gay erotic imagery, followed by hardcore imagery, and finally making loops, Scott Masters, aka Robert Walters, aka Warren Stevens, decided to make a feature film. At the time, people would go to theaters to watch sex films, and one of the most well-known was the Century Theater in Hollywood, owned by a man named Monroe Beeler. Beeler had a production company and had been distributing his own films by this point, and he would play these titles exclusively at his theaters. Masters met with Beeler and told him he wanted to make a film for him. They came to an agreement, and Masters hired Jimmy Hughes for the lead role. Masters called the film The Greek Connection, but someone else had already beaten Masters to the name, and the film ended up being called Greek Lightning. Right from the start, the opening credits are a fun tribute to the James Bond film's opening titles. The film begins with a voiceover reminiscent of the Dragnet TV show.
Friday, October 9, 10 a.m. Private Detective Johnny Acropolis received a phone call from a Mr. Alex Kincaid.
Alex Kincaid is the attorney for a top political figure with a gay sex scandal about to unfold and possibly foreshadowing how nothing really changes when it comes to gay political sex scandals. The information leading to the scandal was tattooed on somebody, and swinging Detective Acropolis has received a $50,000 retainer to get to the bottom of it, using his body, of course. At a gas station, an attempt on Acropolis's life is made, but the shooter accidentally takes out some poor guy just trying to use the bathroom. A sped-up car chase ensues, and when Acropolis catches up to the shooter, they scuffle before the shooter himself is taken out by an unknown assailant. But not before revealing that Queen Bee is behind all of this. No, not that Queen Bee. Or that one.
My God, what the hell's going on here? Get back in the house, Christ's sake, move your ass!
Just then, a beautiful British man, Rex Gardner, just happens to stroll out of his house and offer to help. Once inside, Acropolis makes himself at home. He has a drink with Rex, which leads to Acropolis discovering a tattoo on Rex's body. Acropolis then asks to see his body, leading to some sexy time. Kincaid calls Acropolis and lets him know Queen Bee's identity. Acropolis heads to Griffith Park Observatory, where we finally meet the flashy Queen Bee.
You're going to take that extremely pretty ass of yours down the mountain to that little park and cause Mr. Acropolis to follow you to the usual bar. There you will have help, if needed. And there you will flash your ravishing eyes and thrust forward your near-to-bursting basket. And there you will attract Mr. Acropolis.
The man Acropolis followed into the bar, Pretty Mark, approaches him while two other men assault Rex, looking for the pictures he's holding. Acropolis takes Pretty Mark home where, well, you know. Afterwards, Rex calls Acropolis and tells him what happened. They meet at the convention center, and Rex is shot.
Lousy son of a bitch!
The plan is now set to retrieve pictures and put a stop to Acropolis. Queen Bee and his henchmen capture Acropolis. Queen Bee questions Acropolis while getting a Hummer, but Acropolis won't budge. Acropolis is then tied up, and well, I assume a stunt butt was used considering Jimmy Hughes asserts to never bottoming on screen. Pretty Mark comes in and Acropolis convinces him to let him loose. After some play, they escape together and another car chase ensues. The pursuit continues on foot where Queen Bee chases Acropolis onto the top of a train, which was shot without a permit, and they had to bribe a security guard with money for a good 10 minutes of shoot time. Queen Bee is blown off of the train and killed after the explosion. Acropolis visits Rex at the hospital, and it's at this time that a voiceover lets us know that the political figure scandal is put to rest. However, photos and evidence have not been found. After the final sex scene, Rex figures out what his tattoo means. Overall, the film is well made and has a good enough light plot to keep you interested. Also, the sex. The sex is going to keep you interested. I love looking at the film's use of locations, especially around Los Angeles in the early 1970s. Greek Lightning was made when synced audio existed but was seldom used for erotic films. Here, Masters chose to go with a music soundtrack, and it's dubbed over well for the most part. Masters went on to describe the shooting of Greek Lightning as a fiasco, saying the movie that you see is not what he had envisioned. Other than Hughes, many of the other actors were terrible and Masters could not get the best out of them. Beeler, the film's producer, chopped it up and made it palatable, something that deeply offended Masters. But as time went by, Masters realized that it was a business decision, trying to make a movie that would sell. After his experience with Greek Lightning, Masters soured at the idea of making another feature. You've been watching Demystifying Gay Porn. I am your host, Ike Grande. Demystifying Gay Porn is available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Demystifying Gay Porn is on X, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. And if you like what you're watching or listening to and want to be a part of the creative process, head over to patreon.com/demystifyinggayporn, where you can help support this audiovisual podcast and YouTube channel, and I can continue making content like you've just enjoyed. Once again, this is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped to get off. Cheers.